This is interesting. It's just behind an industrial estate. We'll get the map location up, but very interesting old building that was there, which to have windows at the top like it does like that, it can't have been industrial. It looks more castle-y to me, but with very undistinct, missing castle features otherwise. We're actually in a town called Stubbins in Ramsbottom, and as you'll see on the map here, Tentering Tower is highlighted because that is the ultimate destination of today. We're just below the tower. It stands on a hill, and there's a small industrial estate. We'll zoom in here for a closer look at that. Now we're stood just where you see Ramsbottom Learning Centre and Rossendale Dance and Drama Centre. And you can see a small yard there with lots of orange things in it. They're actually road cones, as you'll have seen in the previous shot, and you'll see later on as well. And we're looking across to the back of that, which is actually the bottom and the trail starting up to Tentering Tower. So we will head up and we will go on top of that wall that you're looking at there and explore it further. The area we're actually stood at there is where the old mills were that processed the cotton, and once the material was made, the raw materials, they were taken up to the Tentering Tower. Now at the back of the yard here, you can see 3 rooftops, and they're connected to that wall structure that you can see going far above. I'm not sure how much of that is original from the 1800s. On the buildings all around the estate, they do all date back to the 1800s, so I would say there's a lot of the original buildings remaining there, but there was obviously another huge structure at the back that there's remains of now, but very little evidence of how it was originally incorporated with the buildings at the bottom here. There's another little interesting bit in this area. As you can hear, I just tripped up from the smarmy little laugh.
Let me film.
From the smarmy little man.
Partly chap.
It's got all sorts of interesting features like this round here. The place we're on our way to is...
see the description.
You chose it, didn't you?
Well, no, I just... let's see what it is.
Pointless. Fucking pointless. Right. So, before we get there, we are just going to have a look at a few interesting features. Zingbird... What? Captain Birdseye's...
Zingberg's Castle.
Zingberg's Castle. This was the staff entrance, presumably. Ooh.
Hey. Oh. Scott, go a bit further down and do a Martin Zero. There you go, there, just there, back a bit.
Steps going up there. You see the way?
Come on, Scott, we need a Martin Zero pose off you. This way, so you're casting the shadow. Bit more. That's it, just there. Give us a little Martin pose, little teapot. Do a teapot.
I've got you doing the teapot, mate. Things are really hard right now, but you're being so brave. There's always someone who will listen. There fucking isn't, you know. Oh wow, look at that.
Oh gosh, I've not seen them for years.
Glass ceiling.
Bloody hell. Manchester, when I was a kid, when I went to the underground toilets, was the last time I seen that.
Yeah. And Wales and Blackpool.
Yeah.
They always had them.
They did actually.
Yeah.
I thought you were being sarky there for a minute.
As if. It's all very interesting and oldie and raining. Absolutely pissing it down all of a sudden. We walked in the tunnel on the other side, it wasn't raining. And we've come out this side. Interesting little housing place. Very nice gardens, very well kept. And power station, of course. We just need one of them. Just to set the scene. But this rain is now good for us, is it?
What do you need them aerials for?
Who knows? That's
the story of your life, that, Scott. You don't see the enamelled bricks anymore, do you?
No, these are interesting. Are you getting them?
Yeah, well, the...
And this ornate stuff.
You don't see that much at all. See, they're like enamelled bricks, not tiles put on though.
As if it's been eaten away. And it is just a cover, it's just a layer on top of brick.
It's like a painted enamel on the edge of a brick then. But it's undercover, so you'd have thought it would have not decayed. The ones that are more towards the entrance have fared a little bit better.
Strangely.
That's because people come in here for a piss. It's the acid that's done it.
They're pissing around the wall.
I don't know what your limits are.
And again, there's lights on it. Better maintained.
Wooden roof bit there, which I'm assuming from the top you can just walk over that wooden roof when it's open.
Shut that off.
Well, there's no need because you can walk round.
Yeah. It's job's worth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I've made a decision, lads. We're going to shut this tunnel off for safety.
Yeah. Stay safe, boys. They've shut it off for you. It's dry here. Again, we are under trees, but I don't think it doesn't feel like there's any chance of rain here. But it was really raining through there.
Yeah. Just some useful information on the areas that we're visiting now, and this one really caught our eye. In 1832, on this spot, nothing happened.
That's how it looks at everything. Look at that.
You can look at power poles that just end.
Yeah, they do, don't they? They just come to an abrupt end. That's where the magic happens. Hey, look at this. But we're going to have to get over the wall.
Well, here we are, and it's just a tower.
This isn't it, you know.
Is it right? This is just a tower before it.
Yeah.
I mean, what would have been the purpose of this?
No.
At all.
Oh, that's the thing you saw from the other side.
Ah.
Don't film me.
Get a grip. There she goes.
It's a big drop on the other side. I'm going to have to go over there though. I want to get some footage of that. It's a big drop down here as well. You know, this might be better that you do it.
Probably not, mate. Not in my condition.
You know when you wish you'd gone on the diet a little bit sooner?
Don't know what you mean. Maybe you should have just had one meal at KFC.
I'm sure that my diet's kicked in.
He's never going to get back over there, is he? Look. Wall's twice the size of him.
Oh, squirrels. Oh, Scott. Right, it says up there PB, well, it says 8A, I don't know whether there's some bits missing there. 1851. And someone's been beforehand. Created a bit of a cavity there. Oh, look at that. They've obviously just filled that in with bricks to stop you looking. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. See, that could have connected everywhere. This is the same thing they've done where I live. Under Dalton Castle, as it's called. They've just backfilled it with bricks and that, so that you don't become aware of the tunnels that were there. Yeah, there we go. And that's, you're only seeing that because somebody's knocked the bricks out. Yeah, they always hide the history. It's a stunning building, really well done, and yet you've got no access whatsoever to it. I had to come over a wall. It's at the top of a hill. There's some brilliant remaining structures down there, but it's just the remnants, and you've got no access. It's the back end of a company that just doesn't care. But this, I'm assuming, goes all back a lot further than what they'd claim. You know, you can recarve numbers in, but who knows? Who knows?
Just a slight little bit more up the path here, and I thought, yeah, there's a way through here. Just through the fence. You really did go the hard way there. So if you do come here, just walk up a little bit more and come through the fence. There's electric cables there to a BT box. What's that, Wi-Fi? It's a Wi-Fi hotspot, I think. And then you can come down here. It's quite an amazing structure and a hell of a drop. That's the place where you could see the windows through. We're very high above that. I don't know how well it shows how far down that is on camera, but shit, that's a long way down. I've put the HDR on for this shot because it might just show it better.
At the end of the day, they should leave this stuff open, but they backfill it. Little wall there. The thing is though, I don't want to go over there because it's a massive drop. As you may be able to see, it just goes straight like that. It's just literally straight down. It's nothing stopping you. Nothing stopping. Right, let's go back up here.
A little bit of a wallage there. Yeah?
Scott? Ouch. Are you in?
There's a way in and out up here, mate, without climbing over the wall.
You know, the dog walkers have kindly put about 1,000 dog shit bags everywhere.
There's also a BT Wi-Fi hotspot. The cables run all along the ground here. Yeah, here he comes. See the black cable?
The dog walkers have kindly put about 1,000 dog shit bags everywhere.
Oh, well, there you go. The local people, shame on you. They've put dog shit bags all down, just slung them over the wall.
People that are the shit bags.
But yeah, you can see that wire goes right up through the trees and into that tower. So that tower has internet.
There's an opening at the bottom, and what they've done, they've filled it with red brick.
Nobody can hear you. He said there's an opening at the bottom, and what they've done is filled it with red brick.
Disgusting, I filmed it.
It's disgusting, he's filmed it. It's just testicles, 1, 2, 3.
He added the 1, 2, 3 in himself, I didn't say that.
So what's the door for?
There isn't a door.
What's at the bottom of it?
Well, that isn't the bottom. Somebody's just put that in. All this that we're stood on now has been built up to cover it up. It goes right the way down. That whole construction goes down to ground level.
You know that wall we could see with the holes through it, with like windows type things? That's quite far down below us. Yeah.
Seen it back there, yeah. Where I'm stood here, a couple of feet forwards, a massive drop straight down. Where I'm stood here, a couple of feet forwards, a massive drop straight down.
And do you know what? This place here that you can actually get into dead easily next to the drama and dance centre has all cones, high vis, safety, the sort of stuff you need to close places off. I'm not saying that we should nick them to use for our own purposes at some point. Yeah. Really?
That's why they've got CCTV cameras everywhere. There's a gate thing here. Look at that. If you knew over it, it's a thing that you put a gate on, a latch harness, a latch bracket. Look at that. And yet you got this is absolutely solid that I'm on. And then a humongous drop. I do want to go at the end, but obviously I'm going to.
Why would we need internet in that tower?
Look at that, straight down, no messing. See a ledge down there? Oh, there's a little ledge.
Can you get down to the ledge?
It's like a ledge, isn't it?
Can you get down to the ledge?
No, not a chance. Not a chance. I use the word ledge loosely. I think it was one. But all this, Scott, it isn't a cliff face that's been done. I thought from the outside it looked like it had been mined and that. It really isn't. No. It's all a construction and it's just been covered up with shit. It's literally been covered up with shit. And you can see by here, and this bit here, there's the latch bracket for an old gate. And when you look at it from this side, you can see that structure's just pointless then.
Yeah.
It's pointless, but you can see where it's open. It's got an arch that's been built maybe well after it was done. But you can see it goes right down. They filled it all the way up with bricks. Just like they've done in Dalton, at Dalton Castle, where they've got the tunnels going underneath to the church and everywhere else. They've just backfilled it so you don't know.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Yeah. It's an absolute fucking piss take. I hate that sort of stuff.
Good internet. This is internet.
Really?
BT box up there.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Tap into dead easy.
I mean, this has all been built, Scott, all of it, the whole lot.
Generally, you'll find that with all of them.
Yeah, but it just on the outskirt there, it just looks like it's just been mined. Yeah, every bit of it. All this, it's construction. That is interesting though, down that end. All of it is. It's got a history they're not showing you.
Yeah.
Nothing's coming up on it. More than 2 steps high, no, I'm out of it. You don't know what you're on here, do you?
No. I mean, look at this thing here.
Wow. What the hell is that actually?
I think you've run a couple of ideas up a flagpole.
Yeah. So that's obviously to drop down, but I don't understand. What is it, an old flagpole then, or what? It looks it actually from the top. Yeah, I'd say it is an old flagpole.
This, we're assuming, is an old flagpole, but again, just some out of place and big steel construction like that. In fact, they've even got the string there still from where the flagpole went up, but yeah, very hinged there so you can fold it down. For what? Or is it an old barrier, a gate post? What is it?
I don't think you can get out down there. Can you get out down there?
Gap in there. BT router box.
Fucking hell.
In the middle of absolutely nowhere. I mean, is he getting it from the tree? There's definitely other structures here previously.
Oh yeah, there's many structures here. They're mainly buried, and you can see the big bricks for the old style of building walls, and then the smaller ones that are above that line that they've done for the top bit. But done in different periods, but loads of the stuff here, it's covered up, it needs digging up. That looks good down there. It don't go back, does it? Nope. But you can see that they are stacked. Place. There it is. Right at the top.
Presumably this is the communications tower because so many bloody broadband cables coming in. That's not a welcoming thing, is it? Well, we've made it. It's not an easy track up here. It's not the most difficult though, so it's very doable, even for people with the equivalent health levels of mine, which is extremely low. Now, if we just refer back to those information boards that we saw on the way up, it says the tentering or drying house was used to stretch the cloth from the mill so that it would remain in shape while drying. The material was held on frames using tenter hooks. In the late 1800s, the newly made cloth was brought up the hill from the mills in the valley below to dry with the help of the wind passing through the tower or on frames in the field above. As you'll gather from the next section of footage, we didn't read a word of that on the way up.
Zagsborough Castle. I know, because it's not that. I just made it up before. Here, I've got it.
If you do visit this place, be very careful at this side of it, what I would call the front, because just in front there is a huge ditch, and I just nearly went in there. Yeah, so watch out for the ditches.
The thing is with him, he don't watch where he's going.
As usual, there is a tree growing in here.
It didn't have them to it, it's fakey shit. You can tell by the edge bits there. All the top bit is fake. Oh, they've altered it, Scott. Wasn't originally like this, was it? Look at the roof.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't have them to it, it's fakey shit.
Yeah, Shorty's just pointing out these here. You can see originally it was a different design, no turret style, castle style topping like it's got now. It was very house like in design, with a normal roof.
Yeah, and this has had something in between them. That's weird, Scott, there. On that middle one. It's like the outer bit's designed to be underneath cement. It's like them stones aren't right.
The reason the underneath bit's cement is because there was nothing there. The roof came down and look.
No, but do you see that top bit there? See how it's all black and that?
Yeah.
That cement looking stuff is underneath it. Alright, here's another thing. The steps that I'm on are fake, and I'd hazard a guess and say this entrance here is fake. And the simple reason is they would not build like that. They don't build in front of windows.
Now it actually turns out that the second level was added later, so Shorty's almost right. Obviously the steps aren't fake, they're there, they're real, you can see them. But as he says, you know, with them going in front of the windows like that, you know, there's obviously some messing about gone on. Well, there was a second layer added after the original building was built, so that clears that up.
And you can see the way these bricks are, that they've been cut into, as you would build it up as you're going along, and you can see that they've all been replaced to cater to put these in.
I don't know if vandals have done this. It's obviously not been done officially, because that's the gate at the back there. Somebody's took this fence down. Oh, it's fallen down and in a state of disrepair. In fact, there's a sign here, let's see what that says. Ah, yeah. A piece of sheet metal. Still with the... when you buy sheet metal for factories and everything, it comes with this protective coating on so that you can cut it and bend it in NC machines and that. And it gives it a layer of protection, and also stops the metal deteriorating before it has a chance to be treated. So why that's there like that, I don't know. That makes no sense. It's even been drilled as if it was planned to be stuck up, and yet there's nothing on it, unless there is something rope sort of engraved, but you couldn't engrave it while that's on, because this is who it's bought from, the steel mill. Well, the steel mill sends it on to them and they sell it on, like your Liam Ramsbottoms and your Alcos and that.
Not to name drop though. Are we sponsored by them?
Not yet. Going back once again to the notice boards we saw on the way up, I'm showing you a still shot from the little video bit I took of it, because unfortunately I didn't think at the time to take a picture of each one individually. I thought they'd pick up better than this, but it's okay, you can see enough. The Stubbins Vale Mill was built by the Porritt family in 1851. The mill manufactured woolen, linen and cotton cloths for machinery. You can't really see much in that image from back. Now in this image you can see a very tall chimney stack, and it says the chimney belonging to the mill dominated the landscape until it was demolished in 1979. You can see the base of the chimney as you walk up the track. So I'm assuming that that's what we saw when we was on the way up. And as you can see in this image here, that huge wall going up, that is what we was on the top of, I'm assuming. You can't see where the windows are at the high bit, but it would appear that they've kept the wall in place, presumably because it's holding back a lot of the land. But we were stood on top of that old mill. Now, is that whole mill still underneath ground there? Because where we were, there's a lot of ground on top of it. And as Shorty was saying, you know, it's all very solid and everything up there, but, you know, you can't see what's below the ground there. I do think that the old mill is still there, or they've just kept the retaining wall and the chimney, you know, the very bottom of the chimney. But it's very, very interesting, and from this image it gives you a bit of a perspective as to what it was. Well, it was interesting. We just spoke to a couple there, and the fella's obviously a bit of a historian, and he was telling us that's where the saying for tenterhooks comes from, because they used to dry out the cloth, bleach the cloth, and then when they were drying it out, it would be put onto tenterhooks, and they would have to wait until it had dried out, and that's where the saying on tenterhooks comes from.
So when someone says, I'm on tenterhooks, what do they mean then?
That they're waiting for the the bleached cotton to dry.
So why is the twisted expression? What do they mean it as now when they say it? Instead of saying tender hooks, because it's sensitive, it's very tender, it's a sensitive area. The situation's sensitive.
Helicopter.
See, there we go. A bee, a wasp. You want to get out of that one?
Yeah, it wasn't very interesting, was it? Helicopter's much more interesting.
Fuck, we weren't interested at all, was it?
No.
We didn't want to see, did we?
No, I didn't have my captain's hat on there.
She's got her tits out. She's got her tits out, please.
She hates her, I'm not interested. I'm more interested in the helicopter, mate.